Hello, I'm Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life, with another edition of Pro-Life Straight Talk, where we reveal the truth about abortion with courage and clarity, no matter what the consequences. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court, in the month of March of 2016, is hearing 2 abortion-related cases, and we're very involved in them both. One of them deals with a law passed in Texas dealing with abortion and specifically requiring that abortionists should have hospital admitting privileges for a hospital within 30 miles of the place where they do the abortions. And furthermore, that those places themselves should meet the standards of ambulatory surgical centers. Now, there are far fewer regulations in the abortion industry than most Americans think that they are. And these regulations are reasonable. They are for the protection and safety of the mothers who go there for abortions. Now, there is no such thing as a safe abortion, but these particular provisions of this law in Texas will save lives and will protect many women from the unscrupulous practices of the abortion industry. I have helped over 2 decades to expose those practices, working, for example, in the early 90s with Mark Crutcher to produce the book Lyme 5, which shows scores and scores of horrifying stories of how unregulated and dangerous the legal abortion clinics are in America. So we have filed a brief in this case on behalf of the women of the Silent No More Awareness Campaign, a project of Priests for Life and Anglicans for Life, in which those who have suffered at the hands of these abortionists and at the hands of these abortion clinics give their testimony. And their testimonies show, as this brief argues, that more regulations, not fewer, are needed in American abortion facilities. So the law of Texas should be upheld. Now, the pro-abortion people complain, passing this law, upholding this law, creates an undue burden on women, makes it too hard for them to get an abortion. Well, I have news for you. This is not about an undue burden on the women who may want to get an abortion. This is about what the abortionists see as an undue burden on them. This law doesn't make abortion illegal. If the abortion facilities and the abortionists live up to the provisions of this law, not a single abortion mill needs to close. The only reason they're whining and complaining that so many of these mills are going to close is because they are both unwilling and unable to live up to the basic standards of medical care. That's what's going on here. These laws are exposing the corruption of the abortion industry. And if these laws mean that these abortion facilities are going to close, guess what? That's because they should be closed already. That's my comment on the first Supreme Court case. The second one involves us directly. It's Priests for Life versus HHS, together with 6 other cases, including the Little Sisters of the Poor and other groups. And this is our brief submitted to the Supreme Court in this case against the HHS mandate. You've heard about it for the most part. It's trying to force us to help cooperate with the government in expanding abortion. It's absolutely absurd, because the very purpose of our ministry is to end abortion. We're not going to provide coverage in our insurance plan for our employees for abortion-inducing drugs. And yet that's what the government is telling us we have to do. And even when they give us an accommodation for our religious beliefs, the way that they've structured it still violates our religious beliefs. This is a violation of religious freedom because it puts us, the believer, in this position. Either we have to violate our faith or be punished by the government for practicing it. And that's illegal in the United States. The government cannot put a believer who's a citizen in that position. And so we're fighting against this. And our arguments will be heard in the Supreme Court on March the 23rd. And then we will see in a few months what the decision is. We will not obey this mandate, and neither will a lot of other religious groups. So let's stand together for the freedom to defend life. We have the obligation to defend life, and we have to fight against abortion. But we also have to fight against those who would take away our very freedom to fight it. And that's what's at stake here. So stay tuned to Pro-Life Straight Talk and to priestsforlife.org for more updates on all these crucial current battles in the arena of the pro-life movement. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.